Hello everyone, welcome back to ALifeLearned and to my first episode of Friendly Advice with YouTube, where I try to bring your favorite YouTubers to my channel to share their experiences in life and what lessons they feel they got out of it. And to start off the series, we have Bree Bacon with us, who's an Australian YouTuber with two channels, one where she just vlogs her experiences in life and the other one where she raises mental health awareness called Let's Talk Mental Health, both of which I will be linking below. Please stick around to see what experience she has to share with us and what lesson she feels she got out of it.
An idea.
You can escape.
Ideas are bulletproof.
Hi, I'm Bree Bacon and welcome to Friendly Advice with YouTube. When Becca asked me to contribute a video for this, I was a little bit nervous about what to share because I'm generally quite a private person. I've decided to talk about something that I've actually had a lot of experience with recently and that I think is something that a lot of people sort of forget is a part of mental health, and that's mental health and the workplace. The first time mental illness really affected me in the workplace was actually not my mental illness that affected me, it was someone else's. I, at the time, was dealing with depression and anxiety a little bit, but I had made friends with some people who weren't the best kind of people in the world, not because of their mental illnesses, just they weren't nice people. I'm obviously not going to share details of what they were going through, but I'm going to try and talk about how it affected me and how it affected my mental health and my experience at my workplace to the best that I can without giving away someone else's personal information, I guess. The best way I can explain the situation, once again, without giving away personal information, is that this individual tended to use their mental illnesses as a bit of a weapon in a way. They would kind of belittle other people's experiences, and I was going through a really hard time at work with different managers, with certain promises being made to me in the workplace that they didn't follow through with, stuff like that. So I was struggling as it was, and then dealing with someone who then, because their mental illnesses were so extreme, they kind of made me second guess what I was dealing with and being like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be talking about it. Maybe that wasn't an anxiety attack. Maybe that wasn't a panic attack. Maybe I'm just imagining it because this person obviously has so much experience with what they're going through, and theirs is so bad. Why should I be complaining about mine? And that's not healthy to look at it that way. And unfortunately, this person was quite manipulative and tended to, use their mental illnesses as a bit of a weapon or a bit of a strategic, vantage point, I guess, to kind of belittle others who maybe were struggling as well. On top of that, in the workplace, I was dealing with managers who just were not nice people. There's a lot of rumors going around about one of them, and I want to tell you guys to show you how completely out of this world the situation was, because you would not believe how just out of hand this situation got. But basically I was working with some dodgy people. It wasn't a dodgy business, it was a franchise. But just unfortunately some dodgy people got involved with it. I'm smiling because it is honestly just one of those things, and and I wish I could tell you, but privacy and stuff, and I don't want to badmouth the franchise because it's not like an awful franchise. I'm not entirely sure what happened with my words then, sorry. So I was dealing with the fact that he was like, yeah, we'll put you on full time, we'll give you a management position, and this went on and on and on for months and months and months, and then nothing. They just didn't do anything to help me, and I just felt like I'd been thrown out on the curb. So this other person had left the business who was causing me all these issues mentally and just being really manipulative, and then so I've gone from that, yes, it's going to be positive now. Nope, the business starts screwing me over, then one of the people leaves, and then it just becomes a mess. And luckily I finished uni around this time, or finished full-time uni around that time, so I was out of Melbourne. So after going through all this stuff when I was working in Melbourne, when I was studying, to coming home being like, okay, I'm gonna get better. It's gonna be fine. I'm gonna be in a better situation. The day I moved home, I actually got a phone call for a new job, which was fantastic. I was like, okay, and they wanted me full time and they wanted me to be a manager. Unfortunately, that ended up falling through. It's fine. These things happen. It is disheartening, but life happens. You move on. Unfortunately, the person that they brought in started to bully me. So I had gone from being like, yes, I'd moved out of a really negative situation back home to my parents. I was like, I'm going to get better, to this job that I thought was going to be amazing. Didn't turn out to be amazing, wasn't terrible, to which then turned into a situation where I was just so unhappy because I was just being bullied, and it felt like once again in a workplace I had just gone from a horrible job to a good job that then went really bad. I chose to leave that job after about a year. Mentally, it's been such a good decision. Now to the advice bit, and I just want to preface this by saying I'm a very privileged person. I'm white. I am middle class. My parents are middle class and I mooch off them, so that makes me middle class, doesn't it? And I'm in a very lucky position. And unfortunately, the advice that I dole out comes from a very privileged position because that is where I am. And I did just want to preface that because I don't want to say something and sound like I'm thinking that everyone can make the same decisions or take away from this what I'm kind of trying to say. Does that make sense? I think it makes sense. If it doesn't, I'll explain it in the comments probably. If you are unhappy in a workplace, quit. The most important thing in the world is your health, your physical and your mental health. If you are in the position like I was to be able to quit, to be able to walk away from a really negative situation, take it. Don't be scared. Don't be worried about it being the wrong decision. If you step back, logically think about it, and you're not going to be homeless or you're not going to die, then remove yourself from that situation. Actually, I guess this kind of, if I take it away from a workplace advice, the advice I give is do the best you can to deal with what you're given. But at the end of the day, if you have to walk away from something, be it a job, be it a friendship, be it a relationship, if you have to walk away from it for your mental health, that's okay. The most important thing in the world is your health, physical and mental. So do the best you can to make sure that your health is the best it can be for your circumstances. So if you are able to, quit that job, quit that friendship, quit that relationship. For me, it ended up being the best decision ever, leaving this job. And I guess that's the advice. Has my hair done that the whole time? Oy. And I guess that's the advice that I want to give. You aren't stuck, you aren't stagnant, you aren't going to be in the position that you're in for the rest of your life. You have choices and you have options and you can change things regardless of if you think that it can't be changed. I bet there's something, even if it's just little, like there will be something you can do to make your days a little bit easier. So don't be afraid to take a risk, I guess, which is what I did, quitting my job. That was a risk. That was a big risk, but I had a very big cushion to land on in the shape of my parents. So take a risk, big or small. If you are in a situation, it's okay to need to remove yourself from it. So that is my advice for you today. Don't be scared to jump. There will be a cushion in the shape of maybe not my parents, but maybe your parents or your friends or your dog or something. There will be a cushion in the shape of something for you. I'm sure of it. And if there's not, I will be your cushion. Bree Bacon 2016, I will be your cushion. Is that a good way to end the video? So thank you for watching. Thank you, Becca, for letting me be involved in this project. And thank you, Becca, for being involved in my project over on my YouTube channel called Let's Talk Mental Health. The series is the You're Not Alone series. And like I said, Becca is involved in that this week. So you can pop over and watch that if you would like. Like and subscribe to this channel and video. Or like this video, subscribe to this channel. Follow Becca on social media. Follow me on social media. I think that's all the plugs I have to do. Cool. Thanks for watching. I don't have an outro, so it just gets awkwarder each time. That's not a word.